Hello, this is Acacia Dragon.
And surprise, Wolfliker, back from the
Yeah.
dead. Sort
Uh,
of.
Today I'll be covering the event tasks in Hypixel Skyblock for the XP.
Now,
Uh,
obviously, we have to first discuss what is an event task. How does it differ from other tasks and objectives you perform in Skyblock?
Alright, so the event tasks, there's only three different ones in this category. There's the Mining Fiesta, the Fishing Festival, and the Spooky Festival. All of these are events. They only happen on a set time. Two of them are with a mayor. The other one is on a 5 days, 3 hour rotation.
Yes. Which mayors do what, and how do you get these to occur?
So the Cole is the mayor that does the mining fiesta. It is one of his three possible perks he can have, and the community has to collectively decide to vote for Cole. The fishing festival is brought with Marina as also one of her three perks, and again, the community has to vote for her to get her elected. The spooky festival is guaranteed to happen though every Skyblock year on autumn not 29th, 30th, and 31st, lasting
All
for one
right.
hour. So for starters, I'm going to cover the mining fiesta.
The first question, because I haven't actually participated in one of these. What is the mining fiesta? How do you participate in this?
So the mining fiesta, when it's active, it lasts for multiple hours straight and a couple times during Cole's election. And during this, you'll gain XP mined by mining ores during the event. Every 5,000 ores you mine will give you one Skyblock XP
Oh.
until you've reached 1,000,000 ores mined.
Is it just ores, or could you mine things like stone and cobblestone from, say, the coal mine, for example?
Cobblestone does count as an ore. However, anything that's not an ore will not count. Like, I'm pretty sure endstone does not count as an ore. There are also netherrack and other non-ores like red sand that will not count for mining Fiesta.
But cobblestone counts. Does stone count as well?
I do not recall if stone does or not. However, I do know cobblestone does because that was something they added in one of their patch notes.
Okay. So then what would you say is the most efficient way to grind this as fast as possible?
Obviously, you want to have it. Well, any time that the coal is elected and you have the mining fiesta, you want to do this as it will also give you your extra mining wisdom. So it is helpful when working on your mining skill. So you could either do mithril mining or gemstone mining while you're trying to make money or level up your heart of the mountain, or you can mine cobblestone as it is a pretty quick mining method you can do using mineral armor and it is instantly broken with your pickaxe.
I do want to ask, are the points vary depending on what you're mining? Like, would cobblestone give less than, say, diamond, for example?
No, because it is simply by the block mined. The type of block does not matter at all.
So if you wanted to grind points the fastest, you just find yourself as big of an empty cave as possible and just blitz away.
That is correct.
Do you get points from using one of those generic cobble gens or the giant pillar stone towers on your island, or is it only while you're in a mine?
Mining cobblestone on your island does still count as mining an ore, as you can also see when you play bingo. That's how I've realized at the first point that mining cobblestone on your island does in fact count for ores mined.
Ah, I see. Okay. So basically, get something that allows you to instant mine cobble, grind it out. Now, how do you get XP from this event?
So the event itself also gives you, I think, 50 or 60 mining wisdom, which will help you get your XP rates up, as well as Cole has a chance to give you another 50 or 60 mining wisdom when he is elected as one of his other perks.
Okay, but you get level XP from doing mining Fiesta. How?
So
What is it that you accomplish that gets you your mining XP or your
your
level XP? I
your
mean,
Skyblock XP is simply mining ores. Every 5,000 you get one Skyblock XP.
and it caps out at 100, I believe.
At 1,000,000 ores mined or 200 Skyblock XP, that's two full levels you can
200.
gain.
Okay. So a good extra couple levels that you can get while you're getting all of your mining, leveling, and collection out.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions for the mining fiesta?
No.
All right, the next task we have here is the fishing festival. This is from Marina when she is elected. She has a event which lets you fish up sharks while water fishing.
I do vaguely remember this one simply because of all the shark teeth that flooded the market. Um, is this one like the mining festival except for collecting fish instead?
So this is every time you kill a shark during the fishing festival, you get closer to getting XP. Every 50 you kill is 1 XP, capped at 5,000 sharks, which is 100 Skyblock XP. Now, you do have to fish up the actual shark and kill it. You cannot simply fish anything up.
So, do sharks spawn in place of your normal sea creatures, or do they spawn in addition to it?
They spawn in addition to your normal sea creatures. There are also baits you can use, like the shark bait, which will increase your chance of fishing up sharks instead of other sea creatures.
Hmm. Since we're having this additional modifier, does that mean it's like does it interact with the spawn rate of sea creatures at all? Like, is there any modifier to sea creatures in order to allow for sharks to spawn more often?
Only increasing your sea creature's chance and upping the chance of sharks over other sea creatures with the bait.
Okay. Um, so you said it's 5,000 sharks per XP here, just like it was 5,000
50.
ores with
50
mining.
sharks per,
50.
and 5,000 is the most sharks you can kill before you stop gaining XP.
And then this one is worth a single level for completely maxing it out.
Yep. One
So
of
it basically functions the same way as Mining Fiesta then.
Not entirely, because unlike the mining fiesta, you do not get any fishing wisdom while this is active, although you can still make a lot of money, as the shark teeth can be pretty useful as you need them for talismans and some other crafts. So especially when you get a great white shark, those usually sell for over 1,000,000 coins when you get off a tooth.
That used to be quite a bit. Unfortunately, I have seen how the economy has inflated. Uh, all
Yep.
right.
The next event here is the Spooky Festival. And the Spooky Festival is once every 5 days, 3 hours, as I mentioned, on autumn 29th, 30th, and the 31st. This lasts for an entire hour, and you just kill mobs to drop candy.
And for once, this is an event I have participated in as well. Um, I'm not sure how you get the level XP because I stopped doing these long before levels release. Is that based on your placement compared to other players? Because I know placement in that is sort of like the farming contest, where your score overall is partially dependent on how many you got compared to everybody else. Is
So
that still true?
rather than your ranking in players, there are different brackets you get placed in based on how many points you get from getting candy. Green candy is giving you 1 and purple giving you 5. So with every bracket you gain a different amount of Skyblock XP going from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 75 XP from wood to stone, iron, gold, diamond, and emerald bracket.
Which totals out into a hefty couple extra levels.
Yes,
And once you get towards the late game, every level counts.
that is correct.
Um, Now, I know you can kill any mob. Is there any specific place or any specific mob you would recommend, especially for, say, the early game players who aren't going to have all that
For
much?
the earlier game players, yes, even early game kind of now is still pretty far into the game. I can imagine many of them might be able to get themselves a frozen scythe that is only 90,000,000 coins, and they could probably
Only,
also
he says.
they could probably also get themselves at least 3/4 bat person armor, as that is still only about 3 to 4 million coins. The helmet's worth
That
more.
sounds more reasonable for early game.
The helmet,
And
however, is
again,
still worth more.
yeah. So that's the equipment, but what region, what mob would you
So
recommend?
a very nice large area with some fast respawning mobs is the Arachne's Burrow, which is found in the spider's den nearby the lake next to the house.
And
And
it is reasonably large to account for the sudden influx of players. That makes
yes,
sense.
now
Uh,
recommending for earlier people who cannot afford a later game item, the Precursor Eye, which currently has a price of 37 million, I'd recommend getting up to full Bat Person armor, a Frozen Scythe, and of course a bat pet, which must be at least epic rarity and preferably a really high level. As starting on epic, the first perk is increasing your drop chance of candies from mobs by up to 20%, gaining from each level, so you can get more candies more often, which will help you a
which
lot.
is quite significant. There is one thing I wanted to bring up because, like I said, I've done this event before. Um, for some of you who are relatively new or unaware, um, Hypixel likes to modify this event in October because it's Halloween, it's spooky season. Um, I don't recall what they did for last year. I think they just added a few new items, but the year before they ran the spooky festival basically nonstop all through October, if I recall correctly.
It was in October, it was Halloween. At the very first 2 years, they had it go about every 4 hours. You had the Spooky Festival active again.
Okay. I just knew it was active a whole lot more. So it is something to keep an eye out for October. Even if you don't necessarily grind it every time it shows up, if you wait until we start approaching Halloween, you'll have plenty of options. And who knows, maybe some will show up when you're able to play.
Yeah. So one of the good things about Spooky Festival is you only have to complete it once, and it is very easy to get higher marks. Unlike the other ones, we have to constantly grind out multiple mayor elections. This one is more easily available to you, and it goes around the clock, so it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. You're likely to get one at least once a month. Now, one of the things I've noticed is, so you need 5,000 spooky points to get to the Emerald bracket, which is the final one. Now, this is pretty difficult, which is why for this, I'd highly recommend getting a precursor eye and a lower player count lobby. For this, you will also want to have your accessory bag set to sighted, as that will give you more intelligence, and you will not be running out of intelligence using either Frozen Scythe or the precursor eye while you're trying to kill all your mobs. Now, last time I did the Spooky Festival and got over 5,000 points, I got around 5,200. I made over 20 million coins in just the green and purple candies alone. I also made multiple millions of coins from the spooky chests that spawn from randomly when killing mobs, and there's even more millions to be made from the event rewards, as every bracket has more rewards better than the last time, with Emerald Bracket giving you a full million coins straight up, and more rewards worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
Long story short, the Spooky Festival is just an excuse to make more money than normal by killing things.
Yep. And of course, while killing stuff, you'll get your own things up, as well as your beast share, which help you with other Skyblock XP methods. But those are not being covered in this video.
No, those will get their own dedicated videos.
Yep. Well,
Alright,
that should be all for this section. I hope this video was
I
helpful.
do believe so.
Enjoy.
I hope
And
all of you have a good day, or night, depending on your time zone.
yep, goodbye.